Hey everybody, welcome to the 1804 show. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is episode 62. We just chilling on this lovely Sunday evening. I got somebody coming to the spot. And I really just want to thank everybody who's been showing me love, showing me support. Oh yeah, speaking of support, go support my homegirl, Candace Barnes. She just hooked me up with this hoodie today. So I told her I was gonna wear it. So make sure y'all go support. I support my people because I love my people. Turn the brightness on. See all the sexiness. I just playing. No, but yeah, we got a newcomer coming on the show. So I'm gonna bring her on real quick.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. I was struggling trying to add myself on here.
Hey, you good? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Give me a second.
Oh, you take all the time you need. Hey.
Let me show my lighting good. Gotta light my sage.
Yeah, I feel that. I ain't mad at it. Wish I had some. I need some after the week I've been having.
Ooh, it was lit. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so how about you? Yeah, so how about you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm Khadijah Young. I do yoga. I meditate. I live my life. I do a lot. I help people, you know what I mean? I just use my platform, my social media platform to spread positivity, especially with so much negativity going on, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I just try to spread positivity any way I can.
Yeah, because we need all the positivity that we can get right now because,
Yeah, no doubt.
things is really hectic in the world and a lot of people just, walking around here like the rules doesn't apply to them, like they can't be the exception or whatever. So I just be
Yeah,
so I just be trying to live my life, you know what I'm saying? Because even though like we're still in a pandemic or whatever, I'm not, what I'm saying, scared. Because if anything, if you walk around like you're gonna die, eventually you're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Manifestation
yeah,
is
it's all about mentality for sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because manifestation is real.
Yeah, I feel like I manifested pretty much. I don't have everything, you know what I mean, how I want it to be, but just within like a year and a half, a year alone, like I've manifested so much small things and big things to happen in my life, and I try to explain to people how strong manifestation is, no matter if it's through spells or a lot of people are getting crystals and things like that. But just even sitting in your room and writing things down, you know what I mean? Something as simple as that, like you'd be surprised how much your life can change, whether it be something as small as, a positive attitude, or it could be something as big as getting a new car, or you know what I mean? Like I just bought a new car, fully cash, you know what I mean? Like no payments, no none of that, you know what I'm saying? And just a couple years ago, I was asking people for rides, you know what I'm saying? So, and it never feels like you're gonna get on the other side until you get there. And so many people will tell you, like, just pray to God and everything else, things that they don't even believe, you know what I mean? Not to say that praying to God isn't you know. But some people don't believe in God the same way that others do. A lot of people just say they believe in God, really they don't. But I feel like belief in yourself is so important because there's going to be so many people around you, especially I feel like a person of color. I can only speak for, you know what I mean, my people, because I'm only black.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I feel like we have so many disadvantages. So you have all these people not believing in you, and oh, she, look at her, and she got this going on, this and that. She ain't never gonna make it. You know what I mean? Look how she dressed, look how she talk, this and that. I get called a ghetto hoe, slut, whore, all the time. Why you dressing like that? Why you acting like that? Got so many people, mostly women. You know what I mean? There's just that insecure factor, you know, all that stuff. But as long as you believe in yourself, it don't matter. That other stuff don't matter, sure.
Absolutely. Because
You're never gonna get anywhere if you don't believe in yourself.
no, no, because at the end of the day, you can have like a whole mob rooting for you, but at the end of the day, it's all about you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta carry that and dribble that ball down the court and hit that,
Right.
last game winning shot. And I always tell people that, and doesn't really matter who's supporting you. If you ain't supporting yourself, then it's dead. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that have all these dreams and goals, but they only go off of whether or not people like them, and they don't even like what they're doing. You know what I mean? But for me, because I remember like a year and a half ago when I first started posting my stuff on social media, people were questioning what I did because of my methods, and they're like, oh, you're just wanting to show your ass off and this and that. But for me, because I'm practicing and manifesting, becoming a sexual priestess and oracle, that kind of stuff, I don't see it as a negative thing. I don't see being sexual as a negative thing at all. And if you see that as negative, then that's cool. You know what I mean? But as a black woman, as a woman that already has so much sexual energy, and I don't am a black woman, but I'm a Pisces black woman. You know what I mean?
whew. I'm sorry. You just maybe reminisce.
so so when people look at me, and I've had it all my life. I've had strong sexual energy my entire life, and people confuse having sex a lot with having a lot of sexual energy. That's not what that means. That actually means that you're weak, honestly, in my opinion. If you have to have sex to get through life, and you have to masturbate and do all these things to even go throughout your day, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that masturbation is a wrong thing, because I do, you know. But anyway, I'm just saying that if you do it so much, you're releasing all that energy, because you got to think about when you haven't had sex in so long and you finally release, it's like, oh my God, you
Mm-hmm.
sleepy, you tired, you can't do nothing for the rest of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to think about that's so much energy. So what if you use that sexual energy to manifest a new job or a car? I'm telling you, that shit is real. That shit is real. That shit is strong. That shit is powerful, and it's a lot more real than people give credit for it to be. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. I feel
for
that.
sure.
I feel that because pretty much everything I do, I give it my all. So,
Yeah.
best believe I'm matching whatever energy
Yeah.
that I give to. And I just added a topic because I have forgot to put it on the description box. But
Okay.
I wanted to discuss about, you be surprised who's jealous of you. Because I'm gonna tell you pretty much what I've been dealing with all week or whatever. Um, well, I ain't gonna say the devil, but I would say dark, entities been trying to discourage me.
Hmm. Right.
And, I mean, they sending my family after me, they sending my
Hmm.
friends after me and stuff. So being the person that I am, I like to be to myself or whatever, because
Hmm.
I love to recharge, and you got to give yourself a break sometimes from people and society and this and that. So
Hmm.
so I pretty much called my sister, my older sister, and she was just more concerned about talking about herself and talking about her problems. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like I didn't care or I didn't sympathize. It was just the fact like, you know, are you gonna ask me about my well being? Are you gonna ask me how I'm doing, how I feeling mentally and stuff? Like, cause everything
Mm-hmm.
isn't about you.
Right.
So we get to the point where, you know, I'm trying to tell her about, you know, investing, you know, in some stocks and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I'm about
Mm-hmm.
to do. So she said, so she said like, oh, this is not your show. Don't be preaching to me and all. I was like, excuse me, like,
Mm-hmm.
because one thing about me is that, you know, I have patience, but you're not gonna be talking to me.
Is my music too out?
No,
Okay. Okay.
no. But I have patience, but you're not gonna talk to me like I'm one of your kids or like I'm a kid or whatever. Like I'm a grown ass man. I know because I
Yeah.
pay all my bills. But I just was
Mm-hmm.
telling her, you know, that I'm trying to help you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you can feel better, so you can get some self-esteem. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I
Yes.
realized it's called self-esteem for a reason. You gotta, you know, have it within yourself. No matter what anybody else, you know, tell you, you gotta be able to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it just got to the point that she started to count favors and all this other stuff and talk
Mm-hmm.
about you so quick to help people before you help family. And I was like, family? My family consists of the people that hits me up. My family consists of the people that care if I ate that day or not, that I'm okay,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
comes over when I'm not feeling, you know, that I'm feeling discouraged or feeling defeated. I shouldn't have to pay my family to have a relationship with me.
Right.
That hurts. It hurts that, you know what I'm saying? I'm my mama's, well, yeah, I'm my mama's last son that she has left.
Mm-hmm.
And she's my only sibling. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, they make me feel like I'm dead too.
Right.
And I've been, you know, doing this independent shit for the past 10 years now. You
Mm-hmm.
know, been on my own for 6 years now. Never had a shut off notice, eviction notice.
Amen.
I got certifications. I got letter of recommendations. I got benefits. I'm good. I don't got no, you know, multiple
Mm-hmm.
kids, no baby mamas around here.
Right.
So why not clap for that person who wins? But it's just people.
Now I say that.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying like people just pick and choose who to support, and
Mm-hmm.
it be our own family sometimes, and a lot of people don't think that you can have haters in your family, but you do.
You know, something that I realized that I had to come to terms with. So just a little insight. Like I've been on my own since I was 17, by choice, because my parents are always like, come home, all that stuff. I'm the youngest and I'm the only girl, right? I got three older brothers. Outside of my family, and even I'm the only one that's kind of like outside of my brothers, parents, everyone else, they eat a certain way, they're all Baptist Christian. I grew up Muslim, so my family was always the outcast. Everybody else was Baptist Christian. They eat pork, they smoke Newports and do all those things, you know what I mean, that I don't want no parts of.
Yeah, I feel you, and it don't, you know, look good that I'm smoking right now, but
Right.
it's still
No, it's all good. That's what I was trying to say. Like, yeah, good. I don't pass no judgment.
oh, good, good,
But what
good.
I'm saying is that what I came to realize is that growing up, as I was getting older and kind of finding my own way and doing things different than my family, envisioned for we're all supposed to be a family and we all supposed to do the same thing and live in the same city and live and die here and have 10 kids by 10 different women and do all these things. You know what I mean? When you do something different, it's kind of I feel like a lot of times they're like, damn, like we pretty much live the same life, but you got all this going on and I got this. You know what I mean? And it's all envy. You know what I mean? Even your siblings, even your parents, even your best friend. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So for me, because I'm an emotional person, I don't know what zodiac sign you are, but I'm a very emotional person.
Capricorn, the goat.
Okay, so yes. Um, so when I feel like I'm being betrayed by somebody that I gave pretty much my heart to, whether it be a friend or a relationship, whatever, I feel so heartbroken. Like, damn, like I thought, you know what I mean? I thought we was cool. I thought you was my friend. I thought you was my sibling. I thought you was my family, this and that, whatever. But as you get older, you kind of realize, and as you become more on your own, and like I said, I've been on my own since I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like you said, no evictions, no help with bills, none of that. You know what I mean? I say that very proudly. You know what I mean? But I've realized that people in your own city, when they feel like, we grew up and had the same, we went to the same school, ate the same food, and this and that. How come you have a better life than I do? And I get it all the time. I get it
Mm-hmm.
all the time in Fort Worth. Like Fort Worth is just it's crazy because Fort Worth is so big and so much talent and so many full of black people, and it's pretty diverse. Um, and everybody wants to do the same exact thing. Everybody wants to do hair, rap, or nails. And which is all good if that's what you truly want to do. But if you're just biting off somebody else, that shit is fickle. You know what I mean? That shit will run out very fast. And when people find out that you're doing something different, like a podcast, what
Mm-hmm.
what what, what is that? Like, what you doing that for? You mean you're not rapping? You mean you're not having bitches twerk on you and making music videos and things like that? And people get upset at the fact at the even idea that you had the audacity to do something different, that you had the audacity to read a book. You know what I mean? Like, you actually got a book and read it. You know what I mean? You didn't just get a book and let it sit on your shelf and let it collect dust. You know what I mean? So, and I realized, like, being friends with people on Facebook and social media and things like that, and you meet them in real life, it's kind of like, it's not even about like, you know, frying for social media, because literally everybody does it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally everyone. Literally every single person. You know what I mean? Nobody's gonna show every single bad thing that happens to them on social media. You know what I mean? But there's a certain level where it becomes, everyone uses the word, but toxic, when you're living such a life on social media, or you're living such a life for other people, to where your real life matches nowhere near to the same way. You know what I mean? That's where you get jealousy. That's where you get people, well, what you doing, and what is that you're doing there? You know what I mean? Oh, you think you better than everybody? No, you think I'm better than everybody. You know what I mean? So I don't waste my time with people like that. Respectfully, you know what I mean? It's all love, but you know what I mean? I don't like how you was acting. You seem like you was hating, and they know inside that they're hating. You know what I mean? You ain't even got to explain it to them. You know what I'm saying? So no way.
And you know what? It's funny because the same things that I used to cry about, I laugh about now because it's like people
You got to.
people knew the struggle,
Mhm.
then they would be proud of me. And
Mhm.
and I tell people this all the time, like, because I ain't gonna say I was poor, but I would say that when I became of age, I had to go
Mhm.
through it. I was homeless a few times. I slept in those
Yeah.
shelters, those park benches, and
Mhm.
being at houses that I knew I wasn't wanted there.
Yep.
And that's the motivation of my grind and my work
Mhm.
ethic. Like, because I worked
Mhm.
for this, and I worked for my respect, and I earned my
Mhm.
respect just by staying true to myself. Because I always waited my turn. I never
Mhm.
hated on the next man. I never try to, take from anybody or try to
Mhm.
rob nobody. Because if anything, if it's not in my name, I don't want it.
Right.
If
Exactly.
I ain't purchased it, I don't want it.
Mhm.
But you just have so it's just, and we're the only ones that does this. And I don't understand that. I'm not saying that white people don't hate on each other, Mexicans don't hate on each other, but we have it so bad, and we have it so
Yeah.
worse, and we're the number ones with that. But we also the number one, and just not,
Everything.
yeah, yeah, just when it comes to like the just spending power alone, like trillions of dollars. But yet we take our monies and spend it at other people, but we don't want to spend it on each other. And I had so many people,
Mhm.
laughed at me, about my vision, about my plan and everything, until I got to, like I said, 10 episodes. Then that's when they realize like, oh, okay, he here to stay. You know, he ain't bluffing. And I was like, I was never bluffing from the jump. You guys thought I was bluffing. You thought I was bullshitting, but I have to do this because I'm not doing this for me.
That's because they know they're about bullshit, so
Mm-mm.
they expect everyone else to be the same way.
No, and it just really comes a time that we have to, you know, start believing in the underdogs. You know, because I believe in anybody who wants to, you know, change their family dynamic, that they want to help,
Mm-hmm.
that they, you know, pretty much like Robin Hoods around here.
Right,
Because
right. I mean, what kills me is that people act like life ain't hard for everybody. Like people act like like what kills me is when I see on social media and people talking about people taking pictures of people's houses and they sleeping on the floor and this and that and ha ha and this and that. Like I just don't understand the whole idea behind it. I don't understand bashing a person on social media, taking pictures of posting nudes, and I never understood that kind of culture, even when I was a teenager, and that kind of was the thing, and everyone was getting exposed and things like that. Like I never understood the idea of people acting like they were better than or they struggling in real life just the same, but because they have pictures or they have proof or something like that, it makes them feel better than, you know what I mean? So I don't ever like, no matter what kind of status you got or how much money you got or what you look like or what you got going on, the moment that you're spewing out hatred and the moment that you're telling me that I can't do this, and like I had one guy comment on one of my pictures on Instagram and saying like, I wonder what your father thinks of what you post. And I'm like, first of all, I'm 24. Number one. Like I don't need my parents' approval, and I already have it. You know what I mean? I respect my parents more than anybody on this earth. And once I got their approval, it was like, okay, fuck what everybody else has to say. You know what I mean?
right,
Because I believe so wholeheartedly of what I'm doing, and I've seen it in real life how it's affected people for the better. And the moment that I saw that happening, and the moment that people were, you know, you made me get up today and I actually went for a walk, you know what I mean? Something as simple as that, then it's go for me. I'm not here to listen to, I wonder what your father thinks, and you're such a this and you're such a that. Okay, have a good day. You know what I mean? Like you can't let shit like that bother you. You really can't. Like if you all you need is your own bag. You know what I mean? You only gotta have your bag. If ain't nobody else got your back, have your own. You know what I mean? And the rest will follow. You ain't got to come on look, please. You're begging you dare beg somebody to support what you're doing. You have this you know what I mean? You have this great grand idea and you know it's gonna work. You know when you know and you know it's gonna work. There's tutorials on YouTube. There's methods out there to make your vision work. There's people that you can get in contact with that'll make your vision work. Even if it's something as simple as buying a plane ticket to California, New York, or wherever, and meeting one single person to make your vision work, then go do it. Work a couple extra shifts and go do it. You know what I mean? You ain't got to guess what? When I get older, I'm gonna do this and this and that because they're just gonna laugh. You know what I mean? And if the people that you tell support you, good, that's great. You know what I mean? But for me, like people always ask me, like, when you get all these likes and stuff like that, does it boost your ego and this and that? I can have 0 likes, I can have negative likes, I can have no shares, and what the fuck is this girl doing and this and that. You can't go off of that. You can't go off of whether people like you, love you, hate you, because you know what I mean. That shit is fickle. Like I said, like whether it's you're doing something on for aesthetics or even your podcast and things like that, eventually people gonna have to learn to like it. You know what I mean. You either gonna love it or hate it, but don't tell me, tell your mama. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it regardless. Like you can
facts.
tell me all day, like this, because the same people that were telling me like, you know, like you're just one of those girls, you the same girls that be on Facebook twerking and this and that. Cool. I appreciate your opinion. Now have a good day. You know what I mean? And now they're, I love what you're doing, queen, 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 black queen. Okay, well, thank you.
Man,
I
they
appreciate you.
man, they use that term so loosely.
Man, queen. I'm like, man, you could have just called me a bitch if that's what you really, really though. Like,
Right, right.
especially when it comes, especially when it comes to like relationships and dating. Like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Like I said, like I have all brothers, so I've kind of seen. I have a different view on dating than most women. Like, I'm not about to blow up your phone. I'm not about to, where you at? I'm not doing all that. You know what I mean? I'm not here for the fake lovey-dovey shit. If that's not really you, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes the same way for fans. Like, you ain't gotta be like, hey queen, my back's been hurting. I'd love to book a session. You could literally just be like, I'd love to see you do some yoga and we talk or something like that. Then to, you know what I mean, lie and say that your back been hurting and this and you know, just to spew up a conversation, you know what I mean? Just shit like that. Like, I don't be here for the fake love for sure. Don't need it.
Man, I swear, it's hard to believe that we 9 years apart. You know,
Yeah.
no disrespect, but I'm.
Nah. I've been getting it, like I said, I've been getting solid 16, 17. You only 17?
Yeah, I mean, it's just nowadays. It's just people like women like you. Excuse me. Yeah, women like you doesn't get pushed into the masses. You know, it's the city girls, it's the
Yeah.
mulattoes,
And it's okay.
but
For sure. Yeah.
but I.
That's why I said you got to believe in yourself. Like, you know, because like I said, like, eventually they gonna learn to love you. You know what I mean? And you don't have to. It's cool either way. You know what I mean? Because plenty of people do. Um, if that's the kind of shit that you like, cool. Like, rappers have tried to get me to be in their music videos and things like that, and nobody like super famous or anything, but you know, local rappers or whatever.
Hmm.
And I tell them all the time, like, I'm not about to twerk in your music videos. Like, you know what I mean? That's just not me. And too many girls that do that kind of stuff, cool. You know what I mean? I love listening to Megan Thee Stallion, all that. You know what I mean? But I'm just not that kind of girl. All respect to her and any other woman that does those kind of things. But for me, like, I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna be me 100%. I'm not about to pretend to be something else and portray myself to be something that I'm not, something that you're not gonna get in real life. You know what I mean? So if you want me to do some yoga, do some poses in your music video, cool, I do that. But I'm not about to. She twerk on my dick, and I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that.
Yeah, and I must say, like, I forget how we met, but when I saw you for the first time, like, I was just mesmerized, like, because you was different. Because you were like, I was like, man, who is this person? Like, she's so different, so dope and stuff like that. So I had to.
I appreciate that.
So like I said, we've been knowing each other for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and I always had nothing but the utmost respect for you and stuff,
Yo, no doubt, same to you.
and I just always, real recognize real, and it doesn't really, um, I really don't, up a lot of people like that because, you got to earn that with me, and you
Yes.
earn it, and I always just when it comes to just my sisters, because
Mm.
it's just I ain't gonna say that us as black men get a bad rep, but it's like they make it seem like we don't care about our women no more, that we don't protect y'all, that we don't defend y'all, and this and that, because of the
Yeah.
agenda that's going on right now. And I don't call myself no um, misogynist man because I'm not. Because I grew up with women. A lot of people don't really know. Like I
Yeah.
had like a strong female presence in my life, but
Mm.
I just keep it real, and I realized that every woman is not a queen, you know,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do believe in growth. I do believe in potential. But
Yeah.
that person or those people gonna have to want it for themselves because I have to grow up. I have to become a man
Right.
because
Yeah.
I was a nigga all my life.
I feel like every woman has the potential to be a queen. You know what I mean? Like, no doubt it's hard being a woman. It's hard being a black woman for sure. Just like it's hard being a man. I can only imagine. I got three brothers. I got a father, a very strong father, you know what I mean? Mentally and physically, very strong male presence. And I can only imagine how hard it is for me to be a black man, but you know, I'm only a woman, so I can only speak from my perspective. Um, like a lot of people question, why don't you wear weave and you don't wear makeup and this and that? And because for me, like, if you don't like what God what God gave me, then cool. You know what I mean? Be cool. You know what I'm saying? For sure I've had to change throughout my life. Like a lot of relationships caused me to be insecure, and people would look at me, and be like, how could you be insecure or whatever. And to be honest, like when you allow people to portray you as something that you're not when you're already insecure, you can literally turn into that kind of person. If and that's why it's so crazy that when people meet somebody like Megan Thee Stallion, not necessarily her, but somebody like her, they're like, oh wow, she's actually down to earth. When people meet me, they're like, wow, you're actually down to earth. And I'm like, just because I dress a certain way or act a certain way doesn't mean I'm not a cool person. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of black women especially, like we fall into these stereotypes so easy, and it boils my fucking blood because black women are so strong and so powerful and so and Hispanic women are too in their own category. I feel like white women are too in their own category because there's different types of white women, there's different types of Hispanic women, things like that. But for black women specifically, we are so strong and powerful. You know what I mean? And it makes me literally upset when I see black women portrayed in a certain light that I don't think is I won't say normal, but I just don't think it's right. You know what I mean? And a lot of black women allow themselves to be put in this category by acting a certain way or portraying themselves a certain way for the sake of social media or the sake of a fucking like or a couple $100. You know what I mean? And for me, my mama always taught me, my daddy too, but my mom, she always taught me that like no matter what, you got to keep you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People around you are going to change constantly with the flow of the days, with the sun rising and the moon shining. You know what I mean? People are always going to change, and they have every right to. But you got to stay you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do feel like a lot of black men are bashed for, I see it all the time. Like I'm part of like a lot of spiritual black women spiritual groups, and every now and then I'll get a post of niggas ain't shit and this and that, and I'm like, whoa, I thought this was a spiritual group. Anyway, that's the point. Like, what just happened? It's
Wow.
so crazy to me. Like, that's a whole other thing. But like I said, like I grew up with such a strong male presence. I didn't grow up around men that didn't take care of the kids, or I grew up, uncles and stuff that had multiple kids by different women, but they took care of all their kids. They always had jobs. I don't have any bum family members. You know what I mean? Like as far as family members that I know, if they didn't graduate college, they have jobs for years. I have I don't know if this is around the country, but I have a lot of family members that work at Lockheed Martin, so they make parts for airplanes and things like that. You know what I mean? So I grew up around success, and to see like black people kind of fall into this well, we were slaves. They took all this from us. Okay, yeah, you know what I mean? What can we do? What can you do? We're never gonna get a true apology. We're always gonna be fighting for our voice, and we literally the fact okay the idea that Black Lives Matter even has to exist is the fact that time's up and just say no and no means no, and the fact that any of that shit has to exist is mind boggling to me. The fact that we have to discuss why our lives are supposed to mean something, stop Asian hate, all of that, you know what I mean? But specifically to black people, like the fact that shit even exists goes to show you like why even try to get people to be on your side that are never going to be on your side? Why try to explain to an old racist white person why you should like black people? They're going to be like, oh, okay, well, back to the Trump rally. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't spend no time trying to, like, if you don't like black women because black women are ghetto and black women are this and that, cool. Okay. You're allowed to have your own experience. You obviously grew up a certain way. Maybe your mom wasn't around. Maybe your mom treated you a certain way. She treated you bad. She talked to you bad, which I've seen. So you have every right to feel the way that you do. I love everybody. You know what I mean? You're never gonna catch me talking bad about Asians, white people, black people, or in a way that's demeaning to the entire race. I may say something that's say something about a specific person, but never about an entire race, because I don't feel that way. But I feel like everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but that's not gonna make me feel a different way. You know what I mean? I hear it all the time, especially in Texas, by black men saying that they don't like black women. All black women ugly, black women this, black women are that, their hair is nappy. I'm talking about black men saying this. Their hair is too nappy, as if their hair ain't nappy. You know what I mean? But you have every right to like what you like. You know what I mean? So for me, that don't change nothing. I still wake up black and beautiful and proud to be black.
Whew, man.
I ain't never in my life wanted to be another race. I ain't never wanted my hair to do anything different. I ain't never wanted my lips, my eyebrows, my nose, my cheekbones. I never wanted to look any different. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up and had insecurities like every fucking person does. But as far as being who I am on the inside, which is a black woman, I am black to the core. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no, oh God, please, can I wake up? No, none of that. I appreciate the struggle. I appreciate the heartbreak and the sadness and the, go back to where you came from and all that. I appreciate all of it because it just makes me want to fight harder. And once I get to the point to where I want to be at, I'm like, kid, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Now you go back to where you came from because obviously it ain't here. You know what I mean?
Man,
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
man, like before we go any further, I am really admiring that playlist you have right now.
Oh,
Like,
appreciate you.
just
I appreciate
vibing, you
you.
know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, appreciate
but,
you. Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with everything you're saying because when it comes to, you know, certain, people or whatever, like, I don't know if you ever heard about the men going their own way movement and this and that. I,
No.
well, it's like pretty much it's like a male feminist movement or
Okay.
whatever. But
Hmm.
I subscribe to a lot of people channels who specify in that. But
Yeah.
some of the stuff I can agree with, and some of the stuff I'm like, nah, bro, like I can't. But
Yeah.
because I always felt like we always we choose who to deal with, and
Hmm.
if you attract broken, then you must be broken too. So once I was able to get my healing together, I started attracting nothing but good, wholesome ladies. And we just dope. You know what I'm saying? We vibe, we conversate, and we always
Yeah.
have, we have good conversations and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I don't expect everybody to agree with me because that's your choice. You your own person, and I ain't trying to, put no witchcraft on you, no hex, no, whatever
I
spell,
get that all the time.
because I just want everybody to, you know, to come as you are, to be
Hmm.
yourself, and don't say yes, what I'm saying? Don't be no yes man, don't be no yes girl, or, you know, because ain't nothing that I respect more is somebody who keep it 100, whether if it hurts my feelings or not. And sometimes,
Hmm.
too, I love to be, called out. I love to be checked because, and we all human at the end of the day, and just because I'm, intelligent or whatever, doesn't make me a know-it-all. Doesn't make me a wise man. Because shoot, I gotta
Hmm.
grow to become a wise man. I'm only 33, so I'm growing. I'm improving, and
Yeah.
also, just from just this year alone, I made such a wonderful transformation. I
Hmm.
never check out my old stories anymore because I
Yeah.
don't want to be reminded of who I used to be.
I feel that. I feel that 100%. But honestly, like, that shit makes me so happy seeing, like, myself when I was, like, literally, like, going through my gal. I just got a new phone probably, like, 2 or 3 months ago now.
Mhm.
But I was going through my old phone and, like, looking at pictures of myself, like, and videos of myself, just looking, like, so tired, and not even just like physically tired, but just like, oh my goodness, like I was homeless too at one point. I was living in hotels, hotel after hotel, and then I was homeless, and just kind of like, and still like doing my yoga and everything, but nobody knew. And and I'm posting videos, and I'm just like in the videos, like what am I even doing this for? You know what I mean? So that shit is all part of the journey. You know what I mean? It makes it so much more beautiful. Nobody that I know that is successful don't have a story. You know what I mean? Everybody has a fucking story. Everybody's been somewhere, started somewhere. Nobody started with success. You know what I mean? If they did, they don't know how to keep it. They're struggling. They got to rely on other people to you know what I mean, keep the ball moving. But people that built their own foundation, no one else can tear it down. You know what I mean? Because only you know how it was built.
Mm-hmm.
Can't nobody tear your building down when only you know how it was built. You know what I mean? So nobody can get to the core or the foundation of what you have set up for your life if nobody knows how you got there. You know what I mean? So I'm a firm believer, like I said, in manifesting and quietly moving. Yes, I post a lot of the things that I do, but a lot of things that is going on in my life, people have no idea about. But I don't sit here and just got a new crib, even though, like I said, I've been on since I was 17, and a lot of people, yeah, a lot of people, are still living at home at 28, 29, 30, which you know what I mean. Everybody has their own journey, but at the same time, I have every right to be proud of the fact that I've had my own crib since I was 17 years old. And a lot of people can't say that. I graduated from college. I graduated from high school when I was 16. You know what I mean? But the moment that you start to try to prove yourself and look social media, look people that don't even fucking know you and probably will never meet you a day in your life and have no effect on the success in your life. Look, keys, look, 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 apartment keys, look, car, you know what I mean? Like, okay. But what are you really doing? But what are you really doing in life? Because unfortunately, there's people that are 17, 18, 19 years old with better houses, cars, lives, this and that, which doesn't mean that you shouldn't be proud of what you got. But there's always a bigger picture. There's always more to be done. And the moment that your hierarchy, that the moment that your level of success, your only level is an apartment and keys on social media, then that's when you're lost. You know what I mean? For me, there should never be a vision. There should never be a floor of where you want to reach. It should always be more. You know what I mean? You got to always stay hungry. You know what I mean? Never be thirsty, but always stay hungry. I learned that from Remy Mom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, never be thirsty, but always stay hungry. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a more that I want for my life. Like I told you, like there was a moment where I was asking people for rides, and it ain't nothing worse. People that know when they ain't had no car, it ain't nothing worse than asking people for rides. Even though I have people that yeah, sure, whatever, you know what I mean? But it's just the fact of having to rely on people. And this is why I tell women all the time, because women are known for doing this. Like, we're known for, get you a man that has a house, crib, car, no kids, this and that. I'm like, but what do you have? What are you going to do if he leaves you? You have nothing to your name. You know what I mean? So you're just going to go back home? That's why you always secure your own shit. That way, if the person leaves you, the friendship, relationship, whatever it is, you can go right back to your house, turn off the lights, and go to sleep. You know what I mean? And keep the ball pushing. But the moment that you put all your eggs in one basket, and all your eggs in one basket means you're relying on everything. Oh, he pays for everything, this and that. I don't have nothing to my name. Then that's the moment that that shit will be gone in the dust.
Oh, I agree, and that goes for men too, because men, oh my gosh, like I don't know what's going on nowadays, but like even when I was coming up, I had you know older guys who was just like, "Oh, you ain't got you a girlfriend yet, man. Like get you a chick, man. She'll take care of you. She'll put you on, bro, and all this other stuff." And I never wanted none of that. Like even though I stayed with my sister, man, the worst feeling in the world is getting put out and you have nowhere to go. You don't know where you're gonna sleep. You don't know your next dollar gonna come. You don't know, you know what I'm saying, where you gonna lay your head at. That's scary. That's the most scary thing
Man,
imaginable. And
you feel the stomach is in your ass for real.
yeah, so now, me being independent or whatever, I appreciate the little things, the stuff that people take for granted. I appreciate every time I flick on a light switch. I appreciate every time I turn
Mm-hmm.
on a water faucet, open up a refrigerator and there's food there. When it
Yeah.
just when you've been without,
It's cereal and milk.
yeah, no doubt. This is the little things. So it just, I'm saying, cause I ain't gonna say that, like I'm a rich guy or middle class or anything, but
And it's okay if you are. You know what I mean?
but but it looks like a home in here, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
home that I worked so hard to get, because I
Mm-hmm.
never had anybody, or even when I was growing up, I never felt like I belonged. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Because I was, I pretty much got more love off the social media stuff that I ever got in the household.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like I don't walk around here all bitter about it. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's like when you grow up, it's up to you to change that whole dynamic. You
Yeah.
can't rely or depend on nobody. And I learned that,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of
Yeah.
people just get lost in the sauce.
Yes. Yes. There's so many things that um, I feel like Black people struggle with as far as the slave mentality goes. Like, I feel like so many things were taken from us during that time that now we just hold on to things, objects and shoes and clothes and shoes and shoes and clothes and hats and cars, and you know what I mean. And it's crazy because it's like when you die, you can't take none of that with you.
No,
You know what I mean? It's people. Those are the same people with two, three, four kids and have nothing to pass on to their children when they die. And what I try to instill with people, like as far as like independence goes, my biggest form of anxiety and depression stem from feeling like, even though I had family, you know what I mean, I got, like I said, I got three older brothers, and my parents have been married for almost 30 years, don't have kids outside their marriage, all of that, which I'm very grateful for. But I kind of always kind of felt like, okay, I had to be quiet because I was the youngest. You know what I mean? That's just part of being the youngest, and I'm, the only girl, things like that.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes my voice wasn't heard, and so you kind of have to create your own lane. You know what I mean? You kind of have to create your own voice, and you can either listen to me or not. And either way is cool. But a lot of my anxiety stemmed from not having a car and barely being able to pay my bills, to the point now where I have a car and it's a nice car. You know what I mean? And I have a crib and it's a nice crib. It's 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. You know what I mean? And I pay that all on my own. You know what I'm saying? So I never had any help or anything like that. And I say that not to, look at me, look what I'm doing, this and that, and ain't you jealous or whatever. But it's just to show that whatever situation you're in, because I remember times where like I was in a relationship, because I was married at one point, and I don't have any regrets for anything that I've gone through in life, because I'm so grateful for it. But I remember times where I would be begging God, like, God, leave, like, why you listening to everybody but me? You know what I mean? Like, God, like, what did I do to you or to anyone else to deserve this life? But I realized that God gives the hardest lives, for me, in my opinion, the hardest lives to the strongest people. You know what I mean? To the people that He knows can handle it. And that's why I'm so grateful when I listen to music like this and I burn my sage and I'm just, living in bliss. Not because I have everything that I want, because I always have a bigger picture, but it's because everything that I've wanted before in life, I've always been able to get, whether it be in a better relationship, better friendships, a car. You know what I mean? Years ago, I never would have even imagined the life that I'm living now. People like I had a photo shoot today, and I'm so blessed for her. But a photographer that lives in California flew down here just to shoot me for one day. You know what I mean? And flew back to California, and it's so crazy, things like that. And I'm getting messages from real fucking celebrity superstars. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so crazy because, like I said, like years ago, I never would have even imagined. I never would have even. That never would have been an idea. You know what I mean? And it was people, even people. I hate to. I'm not gonna say names, but people that I was in relationships with, people that are supposed to have your back the most, that um, hate the fact that you believe in yourself so much that they will tear you down, and they'll see that what you're doing has potential to be great,
So they'll try to tear it down as much as they can, so that when you build it back up and they have, kind of say so in it, it's like, well, I helped you do that and I helped you do this, and remember when I helped you do that? And I'm like, but you really didn't. You know what I mean? Like, you gave me one idea, but I'm the one that's doing the poses. I'm the one that's marketing myself, and I'm the one that's putting myself out there and doing things that I never would have even pictured myself doing a couple months ago. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know what we were talking about, but I kind of went on a rant. But but
No, but no, I feel you though, and again, it's just anything could happen for anybody.
literally,
It just all takes persistence and hard work, and it just was this post going around, talking about you got to be popular for people to support you, but I'm not popular. I don't think so, but because I just always just been my own person and march on the beat of my
yeah,
own drum. So I was never like wanted to fit in.
right.
If anything, I always wanted to be great. I always wanted to just get my story across to the masses and stuff. And I lived a very interesting life to be so young, and that's why I'm the way that I am. That's why I'm able to do what I do, because I have seen so
Mm-hmm.
much, and I just love just being able to connect with so many different individuals from every walks of life, because we all share something, whether we know it or not. We share that sense of um, just flawedness, flawedness and stuff like that. And just learning from each other is what we're supposed to do. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people would have not even known that I was broke because of how I carry myself now and how I dress now and stuff like that. But when I came back here 5, 6 years ago, I didn't have a dollar to my name. I had one suitcase. I had a hole in my shoes, and I was broke that entire summer. And the only way that I was able to manage was donating plasma and stuff. So I was really broke, but I worked my way up. I didn't stay there, and a lot of people be so comfortable in their um whatever life. That's why a lot of people be afraid to get their own place, because maybe they paying like a certain amount at their parents' house or whatever. So they're like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I could just pay this and just, but they're not living. I don't care
Yeah.
how good you got it. That's still their house. And
Yeah.
you're not grown. You can't say you're grown, because the
Yeah.
first thing they're gonna say, well, get your grown ass out my house then, since you're so grown.
Yeah.
So you
It ain't nothing like. It ain't
like,
nothing like. It ain't nothing like living in your own crib. It ain't nothing
no
like that.
doubt, no doubt.
Nothing in the world. Nothing in the world. I'd rather be broke, pay my bills. I only got $200. Cool. I go to the grocery store, spend 50. You know what I mean? Like, shit.
Yeah,
Sure.
it just all depends of what your perception of broke is. Like when
Yeah.
I was broke,
Yeah.
I had so much fun. I had
Hmm.
no responsibilities, but I was just a free spirit and just was able to just venture off and to live into like different states and stuff and meeting new
Hmm.
people and seeing things, and it just really changed your whole perspective and just your whole mindset of you think and you thought that you was the only one that was going through something, and you realize like, dang, this is not just me, but this is like an epidemic. This is
Yeah.
like a case study. That's not being pushed into the forefront, and
Yeah.
that's why I say that I love my people, and I love being black. I love being the strongest race on the planet, because we are. And
Yeah.
when it comes to our people, we are undefeated, because every time that they tried to destroy us, we kept coming back stronger and stronger and stronger. And whether people, um, disrespect our ancestors and this and that, which I fucking hate, because I'll be wanting to, but
Yeah.
our ancestors was some tough motherfuckers, and they thought about us. You know what I'm saying? They thought about, you know, okay, I may get shot. I may be lynched right now, but my descendants is gonna be balling. My descendants is gonna be winning. Well, if I'm
Yeah.
losing, but my descendants is gonna be winning. And
Yeah.
just imagine, like, it's just like the restaurants we go to, the advantages that we have now, like DoorDash and going to Applebee's and TGI Fridays and Chili's and
Mm,
stuff like that. Just imagine that being, white only, and
right.
you wasn't good enough to sit at the desk or sitting at the counter. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
had to eat your food from the back. So it took somebody to say, man, we ain't taking this shit no more. And being able to sit down and get hot coffee thrown in their face and get their ass beat. And then after they get their ass beat, they go to jail.
Yeah.
So,
And it's crazy because racism is still like I've literally heard people say that racism doesn't exist.
oh my God,
Um,
that coon. I
and
know
I,
what you're
and
talking
I,
about.
and I allow people to have their own opinion because everybody has, different perceptions of from their different walks of life, which is cool. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like there's still so much, even though it's not like blacks over here, whites over here, Mexicans over here, dogs over there. It's like racism is still so overt and still so like because I live like in a white area, um, and they're it has it's not even just like a rich area. It's literally like predominantly white over here, and I get stared at all the time. And what's with your hair and what are those dreadlocks and what do you call that and what do you call this and this and that? You know what I mean? I get questioned all the time, and for me, one thing I'll never understand because I always try to understand the other side. I'll never understand racism. I'll never understand why people are racist or what comes up in your brain to make you feel that racism is right. But at the same time, like I feel like in order to fight back against racism, because I feel like it's always going to exist in our lifetime.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
I feel like the only way to do that is not by. Unfortunately, I feel like marching does. I feel like it has its benefits, but we've been marching for years,
Too
years,
damn long.
decades.
Too damn long.
You know what I mean? And they see that as violent. They see that as too much, as too, you know what I mean? They see us with a gun, and that's violent. Even though white people carry, I feel like white people carry more guns than anybody.
Hmm.
White people be
Yeah,
heavily armed.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But when we have it, it's aggressive. Like my brother is a bodybuilder and he's a black man. You know what I mean? And he's buff and he feels like he can't even raise his voice or be passionate about something because people automatically you know what I mean? Like it's a big black man. Like you know what I mean? Like what is he gonna do? Is he gonna choke everyone out or whatever? And my brother's literally one of the most sensitive, like kindest, like you know what I mean, people that I've ever known. And so it's crazy that we have to do so much extra to prove that we're not these crazy monkeys that are should be caged up and things like that. It's sad that we have to do that even to this day, but we're always gonna have to do it. You know what I mean? So for me, like I don't like I said, like I don't spend extra time trying to prove to people, Black Lives Matter and my life matters and please understand why. Because if you don't have the brain capacity to understand why, because my skin color is different from yours, why my life should matter to you, I'm not going to spend my time trying to have a conversation with you. Or now if you're a young kid and you're still trying to understand how life goes and maybe your parents are racist and things like that, yeah, sure, I'll have a conversation with you. But if you're an adult, you're a grown ass person, I'm not about to sit here and explain to you why my life should be important just as much as yours. You know what I mean? I'm not about to sit here and talk to you and here's Black History 101. You know what I mean? Because you probably don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So the only way that I feel like that Black people can truly fight back against racism is by one,
not denying that it exists. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
But number two is only doing what you need to do to become successful. Because what people don't understand is that racism is caused from fear of the unknown, because they can't understand us. They can't understand soul food. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't created by them. White people are cool. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? White people are cool, but black people created soul food. You know what I mean? And there's blackness in Asia. There's in Asian countries. There's blackness in Spanish countries. There's blackness all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's black in Germany. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
blackness all over the world. And that fear of what is that? What is that? How are they so good at everything, sports, and how can one of my homegirls, white girl, how can black people they can naturally sing? All black people I know, they can sing. I just don't understand it.
I
How can y'all
can't.
just
So.
dance? How can you just? How are you just born being able to dance? You know what I mean? You just keep a beat easy. Like, how does that happen? And so people either try to understand it, or they since we can't do it, you know what I mean, we're gonna take it, you know what I mean. So since we can't even fathom how it's created, we're gonna take it, and we're gonna put our little little white dust on it, and call it our own, you know what I mean. And so, like I said, like, I don't spend my time trying to explain what it is I do, or why I do what I do, or my blackness to anybody. That's one thing I won't explain, because you're either going to understand it or you're not.
And it's quite interesting because a lot of people don't really sit back and think about white supremacy and stuff. And that's the most powerful religion on the planet, even though it's not a religion, but it's
It's a religion, it's a political status,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
everything.
yeah, and and the thing about that is when you notice the difference between the Ku Klux Klan and the Black Panthers, when the Ku Klux Klan members took their babies to their meetings, they were speaking hate. But when the Black Panthers took their babies to their meetings, they were speaking about liberation. They were speaking about empowerment, love,
Yeah.
unity, and everything.
Yeah.
So that tell you everything that you need to know about who.
White people were speaking about what to do against all of us, and black people were speaking about how to keep us together.
Mm-hmm.
So black people were speaking about black people, white people were speaking about black people, and Hispanics, and other cultures and other races. So they are worried about us while we're worried about us. You know what I mean? So, like I said, the only reason why I even entertain the idea of trying to explain, the only reason why I try to spend my time even trying to explain, I'll explain just a little bit about blackness and black history and things like that, but I'm not about to spend, you know, I'm not about to Black Lives Matter, because I'm not about to do none of that. I'm not about to do any of that, because you know what I mean? You mean to tell me you lived 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 years of your life, and you dare say that all black people are you mean to tell me you haven't met one nice black person? You mean to tell me you haven't met one kind black person in your life, or a black person that had a positive effect on you? You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of our people have fallen victim to wanting to feel accepted, because we don't even accept ourselves half the time.
No.
And we want acceptance from people that don't give a damn about us. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I'm not at all saying that all white people are this, or all. I'm never saying that. But to the people that are this way, you mean to tell me that you're wanting acceptance from people that don't give a fuck about you? You know what I mean? And that goes from friendship, relationships, any of that stuff. Your boss, or people that you work with, you know what I mean? You want acceptance, and you want people to like you. It goes the same way when you're in school and things like that. You want people that don't give a fuck about you to like you. You know what I mean? That's why you create your own lane, do what you do, and you can either fall in line, or you can stay in your lane. You know what I mean? But don't question what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Stay in your lane, and I'm gonna stay in mine. And I respect you over there, you respect me over here. But the moment that you try to, well, black people are this and black women, that's why I don't try to hear the hoorah. I don't try to hear, oh, black women are all this, and black women are, ha ha, black women are this, and black women are this, and black women can't do this, and this is that. Okay, I'll show you that I can. You know what I'm saying? So, and there are things that I've seen in real life. People literally like I said, I have a homegirl, a white girl, a white friend that her parents are like, her parents are racist. Her parents don't like black people. They genuinely don't. And to a certain extent, I keep her at a distance because I feel like we're cool, but I'm not gonna invite you to my house. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna like, we're not gonna like be cool like that because I feel like you've had this upbringing all your life of all this negativity and all this racism. And if I can't come to your parents' house with you for Thanksgiving and this and that, I can't call you my friend. That's just me. That's just me. For me, like I said, I don't try to explain to nobody uh, uh, the importance of blackness and how beautiful blackness is because we've spent centuries trying to explain it. We spent centuries trying to show love and soul food and look at our, all these things. We've spent years trying to portray our not portray, but we've spent years trying to show off what we can do and that's why black people still try to be flashy and things like that. We spent so much time trying to show the world what we can do, still to be denied. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So why? Why keep doing it? Why keep doing it? You know what I mean? The only person that you got to be flashy for is yourself. When you get that victory, be like, yes, I did it. You know what I mean? And you know that you did it and keep moving forward. But the moment that you look, everybody, look what I did, you're gonna get that victory and then you're gonna get all the cloud and this and that, and they're gonna want more and more and more. You know what I mean? And you got to be able to keep that up or people are going to eventually if you're only um the only way that you feel good inside is for people accepting you, you're never going to truly be happy. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be a moment, even with celebrities, there's going to be moments where there's always some shit, so and so is dating so and then people don't like you, everybody talking about you. You know what I mean? So if you're only relying on people to accept you and people to love you and people to like you and this and that, especially people that don't even know you, people of a whole different culture that will never understand what you got going on, you know what I'm saying? You'll never truly be happy. That's why you get your acceptance on the inside from God or from whoever you worship or believe in, and you keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what you got going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like whether they know it or not, they still guilty by association because you was if
Yeah.
you so because if you associate yourself with around evil, then apparently you know you're gonna be the next one because you
Yeah.
can only fight off particular energies for so long until you become that, and that's why I
Right.
had to get away from certain people who was detrimental to my future because it's a certain dudes they want to keep it real so much, and I tell people all the time like it's a difference between keeping it real and being stupid,
Right.
and you gotta really decipher if it's person worth staying true if you're losing yourself
Hmm.
with that person. Because when I was when I was going through my situations and stuff like that, um, I would just have any and everybody around me because I was vulnerable, and
Right.
vulnerability is dangerous if you don't recognize it.
Yes.
And I had to.
Sorry, I'm trying to plug in my charger.
You good, but it's just that once you start going towards the light, people gonna get mad about that. People gonna be like,
Yeah.
why you so happy all the time? Why you smile so much? Why I don't hear
Hmm.
from you like I used to? It's because um, you can't grow into that flower can't grow unless you get the weeds out, and that's just with anything.
Yeah.
And those
Hmm.
weeds can consist of fake friends and bitches and these niggas and whatever. Like you
Hmm.
can't grow unless you get them weeds out. You cut them out, and that's what I tell people all the time. Like I'm always by myself now because elevation requires separation. Excuse me.
Hmm.
So, and I'm a better person. I have no regrets of who I left behind because they could have growed with me, but everybody
Yep.
can't go.
Right. That's oh my goodness. That's the most factual that is the most factual of facts I've ever that should be in a fucking quote book.
Oh,
Everybody can't go with you for sure.
oh, you can use it. I don't mind.
Everybody can't go with you for sure.
No.
That's fucking facts, man. Because a lot of people, especially like your quote unquote friends, will try to belittle you because they feel like, you know, that's when you start hearing, oh, you think you're too good and this and that. But man, you're a hater. That's what I gotta say about that. That's all that is. You're just hating on me at the fact of like I'm doing something different and it's working, you know. And that sucks for you that you didn't believe in me because I thought our relationship was better than that. You know what I mean? I talk like I'm speaking from experience, right?
Hmm.
But you know, like people say all the time, like, you know, why don't you have a lot of friends and this and that? I just, for me, I've done so much on my own and gotten so much for myself on my own that I just I realized that you can be friends with somebody without physically hanging out all the time, and a lot of that stuff is fucking draining. Like people get with people and drink every night, and oh yeah, this is my friend. But if you if you was you know what I'm saying in a detrimental situation, would they help you out? Probably not. If you needed somewhere to stay, would they let you? You know what I'm saying? If you needed to ride somewhere, would they take you? You know what I'm saying? So, and there are people that I know when I was struggling, there was nobody that I could rely on besides my family. And so right now, the only people that I rely on is my family. You know, and I mean family like there's a couple of, you know, friends and things like that,
Hmm.
but that's still considered family. I don't consider that a friend. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like for me, like a lot of people feel like they need somebody to move throughout life and you need friends. I don't necessarily think you do. You know what I mean? I feel like it's nice to have a support system, but as far as like a buddy to hang out with all the time, I hang out with myself and it's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I enjoy meeting random people and never seeing them again. I appreciate your time. You know what I mean? Going to a bar, had a good time. I'll see you never again. You know what I mean? It was cool. It was cool. You know what I mean? It was great. And then I'm on living my life. You know what I mean? Because you gotta think there's so many people on this earth. There's so many people. And I always think about this, like when I'm driving on the freeway and I'm going to this exit and the person's going to that exit. I'm like, I'll probably never see that person again. You know what I mean? When I'm in a different state, I'm like, I'll probably never see this person again. But they might be really cool. There's just too many people out in this world. You know what I mean? To be in relationships with people that are fucking horrible. Like, and I'm saying this because I've done it. Not to talk down to anybody, but listen, to anybody that's going to see this in the future or watching this now, if you are in a relationship or a friendship or any kind of whatever the fuck, don't ever let another person treat you like shit, right? Because they're a person just like you're a person. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And you gonna treat me like shit for what? Bye. You know what I mean? Goodbye. And people will treat you more like shit when you don't have nothing. And even if you don't have nothing physically, that's okay. That still don't mean you get to treat me like shit. I could be homeless. I could have no car, no place to go, no dreams, no goals. I could be a bum on the street. That don't mean you get to treat me like shit. You can stop talking to me. You can stop being my friend, but that don't mean you get to treat me like shit. And I realized that once I started getting things for myself, and then people start coming back and hey, you want to hang out? Then they want to come over and hey, friend, you know what I mean? And they want to kick it with you when you got your own crib, when you got your own car. Then they want to invite you places and things like that. But when you don't have nothing, you'll see the friends that you really got. You know what I'm saying? But I realized that like as far as relationship goes, because a lot of people are in relationships 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years with people that they didn't want to be with after the first year because the person may be abusive emotionally, verbally, or whatever case it may be, or they just don't make you happy. And like, I don't got time for that shit. It ain't no shame in not wanting to be with a person that doesn't make you happy. If you're not happy, you probably be more happy a year from now after y'all break up and they find somebody new, you find somebody new, or y'all part ways and y'all become friends later on. You know what I mean? A lot of actually every single one of my exes, we broke up and it probably broke up on bad terms. 6 months, 7 months, a year later is hey, I love you. I see you doing your thing. You know what I mean?
you know what I mean, great friends or not, but we respect each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's all love, and we can keep moving on in life. But the moment that you're waking up and you looking at the person, you're just like, hey, love you back.
Right.
What are we doing? You know what I mean? What are we doing? Regardless of, obviously it's harder when you have kids and other factors, but people have done it. I've seen single mothers with 4 or 5 kids, but they do it. They've done it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It ain't no sense of even entertaining a person that wants nothing positive for your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because you'd be surprised of people's in the ulterior motives. Because it'd be a lot of people just be so jealous of who you are to the point that they
Mm-hmm.
want to sabotage you. They want to bring you down. They want to destroy you. So they just come around with, hey man, let's smoke, let's drink. Oh, I got these
Man,
girls, and so let's hit up, a club or something like that. But instead, like, and they got kids. I had a homeboy. I had to I had to cut him off because every time I was with him, he barely brought up his son.
yeah.
And that was like rubbing me the wrong way because I'm like, man, you a father.
Where are your
Yeah,
kids?
like, what's going on here? Like you
Yeah.
that mad to the point that you don't even acknowledge your seed. So it just only hang around winners. Only hang around people that's doing something. I got like a lot of supporters, but mainly like my business partners. My homeboys, they do their little clothes. Well, I ain't gonna say little, but because pretty much it's the number one clothing line in my city. But
Mm-hmm.
we came up together. You know what I'm saying, and just to see them doing their thing, and one of my homeboys, you know, had made this show pop. Made this possible for me because if anything, you're supposed to want your friends to join in with you. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what I was going to do when it came down to this show or how I was going to run it, but I just had just, visions and stuff like that. And just seeing myself, just winning, just all the people that ever criticized me, everybody who ever doubted me and everything, it's now, giving me my praise. Because at the end of the day, it's like I always believed in myself because I never felt like I was just going to stay where I was. That just was a chapter, and just like any book, you got to read between certain chapters. You can't backtrack. You can't um, go backwards when it comes to a book, and our
Right.
lives are already
Mm-hmm.
written. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
your age now. You know, you wouldn't want to go back to when you was 13 and be like,
Nope.
okay, well, I see what I did here. That's irrelevant. So I tell people all the time, like,
Just gotta keep moving forward.
mm-hmm. So I tell people this all the time. What if Malcolm X would have stayed Detroit Red? Would he still been considered our icon?
Right.
Or would Dr. King would have just, stayed a Baptist preacher? Would he still been an icon? Or if Oprah would have stayed a reporter, would she still been Oprah?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all gotta grow. We all gotta, boss up, whether we like it or not. Because
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. Because it's not on you, it's in you. Because when something's in you, it's nothing that you can do about it. You can try to run away from your purpose, or you can try to run away from your responsibilities, but eventually it's gonna come up. You're gonna have to face whatever you're afraid of. And I was scared of just being able to live through life without
Mm-hmm.
my brother. I was afraid because I didn't think I was going to be able to get this far. But I'm 6 years deep in it, so now it's no turning back. And I just want everybody to just understand, like, there was the struggle before it became the reward, before it became
Mhm.
the blessing or the accolade, and just want to be an example to anybody, young, middle, old, is that it's never too
Mhm.
late to make a movement and make a stance between
Yeah.
what you want to do, and and we so busy and so quick to expect other people to do stuff for us instead of doing it for ourselves, and that's what it was all about, because just those particular like organizations and stuff like that, and particular games and stuff, you couldn't tell who was the boss because everybody was eating, everybody was winning. And that's what I always wanted to see, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna take some real shit to happen for it to happen. Something gonna have to go in order for it, for a change. But it's just like we always want change, but we don't want to sacrifice nothing. We don't
Right.
want to quit anything. And
Mhm.
if we gonna become entrepreneurs and become bosses and this and that, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, welfare gotta get taken away, Medicaid gotta get taken away. So we would understand that all we have is each other. But while we depending on the government to take care of us and look out for us, we ain't gonna never prosper.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like for sure that so many things are easily provided for us, and things are kind of given to us to shut us up. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, it works. Um, like welfare and things like that, housing, all of that. People are given the bare minimum, and they're good with that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it ain't nothing like getting shit for yourself, and owning shit and having rights to shit, and even if it's something, even if it's something little, you know. I'm planning on buying a house next year, and it's so crazy to me because there are people that are given the bare minimum, and it's like, here, like, take the scraps, you know what I mean? And people are cool with it, and people are as long as they got a blunt in their hand, and being money can't buy happiness and all this bullshit. What can being poor buy you? What can being broke buy you?
Not a damn thing.
Nothing at all. You can be rich and humble. People say that being broke, it's humbleness and things like that. There's plenty of rich people that are humble. I'm sure not all of them are assholes. You know what I mean? Um, I feel like to a certain extent, yeah, okay. Since you've lived the life, you've been broke, and you've gotten out of that. All right, be done struggling. You know what I mean? Move on and elevate. You can't just stay there and being broke. You know what I mean? That's just being rich can't buy you happiness. So you can't tell me that you was happy when you was broke. You may have been satisfied, but you can't tell me you was happy.
I wasn't.
I just I just don't think that. Not necessarily you, but
Nah, but
I
I
just
can attest to that. I wasn't happy, but
I just don't think that you can. I don't think you can say that. Just in my opinion, you know what I mean. You should always want more, especially for Black people, because we have such potential to get more. You know what I mean? Like, you can literally be and have anything that you want. You can be any person that you want to be, because you got to think about it. Like, any person that you aspire to be, Kanye West, fucking whoever the fuck, they're just people just like you. You know what I mean?
hmm
They're people just like you. People that might have been born in your city or are not born in your city. You know what I mean? But they're people just like you.
hmm
All they did was put in the work. That's all you gotta do is put in the work. You know what I mean? Like, you literally just gotta put in the work. A couple hours a day, a couple of, you know what I mean? A couple of phone calls, a couple of emails, a couple of visits to this place or that place or whatever. Like, it's so easy to be exactly who you want to be. It's no sense of struggling when you don't have to, in my opinion.
No,
Mentally, physically, whatever.
And I have a confession to make. My favorite movie by Denzel Washington is John Q. You know,
Hey, John Q is a dope ass movie.
that doesn't get mentioned, but I just because right now I have the John Q mentality, and the point of the movie was that he fought to save his son by all any means necessary. When his wife said do something, he put his life on the
He did.
line and his
Mhm.
everything. Even though he was, felt like his back was against the wall and everything like that, but you gotta admire that, and I apply that to my everyday life. Like no matter if I'm having a good day or a bad day, I gonna make a way out of no way.
Mhm.
And we need to start having that.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to be a boss or everybody wants to be a winner, but nobody wants to be the amateur. You got to start somewhere. And
Yeah.
even with my business, I do this from my living room. And one day it's going to be a production company. That's how big I'm seeing it. I'm gonna be producing so much stuff, but this podcast right now is just get my foot in the door. But other than that,
Mhm.
I have so many big dreams and big possibilities if it comes when it come down the road. I ain't gonna say if, but I'm just
Right.
saying that if you think big, you go get big. You think small, you get small.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But I hope I'm not keeping you past your bedtime. You need all your beauty rest.
No, man, put a point in.
No, look, I was just saying, like, um, just for you and I to be on here for an hour and a half, just talking. We're not yelling at each
Yeah,
other.
sure.
We're not,
Vibing.
we're not being all condescending and combative and all this other stuff, and
Yeah.
and people just think that we can't just have a conversation and understand each other.
Mhm.
And I tell people all the time is that we used to die together. You know, they didn't care whether if we was man, woman, or children. They would hung us on the
Mhm.
same tree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all this, um, you don't understand my struggle or you don't know what I go through. How about you sit me down and let me know? Cause shit, even me being a man, I don't know everything that a woman go through. I can only um make an accusation. I can only assume, but I don't
Mhm.
know. And I don't know everything that a man go through. I have to grow. I have to live to understand.
Right.
But I do have an indication. So far so good. With my 33 years on Earth, but I just want to when it comes to being a man that I was destined to be. I'm just
Mhm.
really want everybody to understand that um, I really have put in the effort to try to make a difference and try to, you know, unify people and just not just, in my city, but just all over the country and all over the globe. Because I really had an opportunity in just talking to different people and
Mhm.
just to have, my face and stuff. And it's just the amazing thing about networking and the amazing thing about social media that people don't, really talk about is that you don't know where your video gonna go or your status gonna go or your,
Mhm.
you know, accounts gonna go. And
Yeah.
it just if you know how to use it right, if you use it for the greater good, then it's gonna turn out good. But if you're using
Yeah.
it to trick and using it to, spread false propaganda, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna win.
Yeah.
And
I mean, what I will say before I go do my yoga, um, is that a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people try to uh,
a lot of people will try to like bite off of what they see other people may work for them. And what I try to explain to people is that everything that you see on social media ain't what it really is. You know what I mean? Whether it be a relationship or, you know, people going to Miami. Everybody's fucking going to Miami. And
Right.
or whatever. I don't know why that's like the people's, that's like all my life I've always wanted to go to Miami. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many other places, you know what I mean? There's so many other avenues that you can go to, you know what I mean? Things like that. But I just feel like the moment that you stay in your own lane, stay in your own bag, and always envision and keep that vision of where you want to be and what you want to have and where you want to go, who you want to be and what kind of person that you want to be, you're always going to be that person. It may not be exactly what you pictured it when you were younger, whatever. Like when I was young, I wanted to be a fucking lawyer. Like, and I wouldn't dare do that now. You know what I mean? Not even though they make great money and all of that stuff. That's just not something I would want to be. I like to do things that I enjoy doing. I don't enjoy having a job that I don't want to be there at. You know what I mean? I don't have a passion for being somewhere where I just got to sign paperwork and read books of things that were created by people that don't even know me or don't understand my people or are not for my people. You know what I mean? I have no interest in doing that. But if that's what you do, cool. You know what I mean? Um, but the moment that you find your own space and find your own lane, find your own avenue, find your own voice, find your own meaning in life, that's the moment that you're gonna take off. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The moment you try to do anything, the moment that you try to do one fucking thing for somebody else, you're never gonna be happy. You know what I mean? And there's so many people living these lives like, you know, I'm married and I have children and but they wife cheating on the husband cheating on the wife, husband got kids over here and wife got whatever else going on, you know what I mean? And people are living these lives because they want other people to be happy, you know what I mean? And the moment that you do one single thing that makes you happy, the moment that you make one significant change in that in every day, maybe one thing that you do, whether it be self-care or you really want to go to a restaurant, but you're always used to asking other people what they want. Do that shit for you. You know what I mean? Go to the place that you want to go to. You know what I mean? If you got the money, get the car that you want to get. You know what I mean? Because that's your money. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
you got to start doing shit for you because especially people that do and do and do, parents, single parents, and people that are in relationships, people that do things for other people all the fucking time, you're never gonna be happy. So you gotta start doing shit for you, and it's okay. That's not selfish. That's not selfish. It's not selfish to do something for yourself. If you're only doing your stuff for yourself and never for other people, then okay, you can call it selfish. But doing stuff for yourself, doing, you know what I mean, self care, or so it's so sad. Like I told you, like I'm part of a spiritual group and self care groups and self love shit on Facebook, and there's women that literally don't even know how to have a morning routine, whether it be washing your face and brushing your teeth, and depression will cause you to be that way. Depression will cause you not to brush your teeth every day, and it sounds to a person that doesn't really care to understand. That's like, oh, like you ain't brushing your teeth, you're not washing your face.
Right.
But to a person that's really experienced depression, you know that when you're just thankful to be able to get out of bed. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to face life. You don't want to face. There's everybody else going to work, and I'm just here with no job, and I'm here with, you know what I mean, whatever else you got going on. So I always tell people that self care doesn't have to be the same as somebody else. Self care for somebody else, for another woman, maybe putting on lashes and doing their eyebrows and putting on a wig and this and that. For me, that's not it. For me, it's exfoliating and saying a prayer in the morning, or doing my yoga or things like that. For somebody else, it may be reading a book, smoking a blunt, you know, whatever. Doing the little things to make you, to cause you some happiness. If it's not hurting if it's not hurting you and it's causing you some happiness, do it. It's, especially if you have people relying on you like children. If you have children and you're not practicing self-care, they will see that, and they will go on and not practice self-care and not put self-care at the forefront, especially my black people, because we have we are known for leaving ourselves because we've done so much and we've struggled so much to help other people and do these things. But you got to start doing shit for yourself too, because that way that when your kids grow up, they realize that, okay, taking care of myself is just as important as taking care of my children. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, your children, how can you take care of your kids? How can you foster a healthy relationship with your husband or your wife if you're not taking care of yourself? If you're not taking care of yourself mentally, you will rely on other people to love you. You will rely on relationships to please love me, please show me that you care so that I can care about myself. So then when the person doesn't love you anymore, the person is gone, then you're like, oh my God, I knew I was worthless. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you got to always keep your head in every situation, and keeping your head means self-care. That means meditation. That means yoga. That means, you know what I mean, talking to your ancestors, creating an altar, washing your face in the morning, brushing your teeth, taking care of your hair, taking care of your skin, taking care of your feminine areas, your manly areas. You know what I mean? All of that stuff. That's part of self-care. That's part of, and you can't say that you genuinely love yourself if you're not practicing self-care. That's not that would not be a true statement.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then also just with self-care is that, knowing who you are, because we face a lot of narcissists around here. I
Yeah,
would say it's growing at a rapid state,
yeah,
and people be so quick to allow somebody who's self-conscious about themselves to tell you who you are, to the point that they begin to believe it. And I got to the point now that I'm a legend. I'm a king. I'm everything that's great. I am, because I had to look myself in the mirror, and then when I walk into the world, I have to be able to adapt to the world. I have to be able to um, challenge, take all challengers, and
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
thing that I just want everybody to understand, is that you have to take all challengers. You have to, mainly, give it all you got, because it's a job to
yeah.
keep peace. You know what I'm saying? When you get some peace,
Mm-hmm.
say you ain't gonna want nobody to take that shit from you. Like, you gonna be real stingy with that shit now. Like, once you really get a
Yeah,
taste of it. So
yeah. You have to be. You have to be. Oh, what are you chewing on? He is crazy.
but yeah. So do you have any final thoughts by any chance?
I mean, to be honest with you, like I tell everybody else, like I love what you're doing. You know what I mean? Keep doing what you're doing for sure.
Oh, thank
For for,
you.
for black men, for black people, for all people. You know what I'm saying? Um, don't, and this is for everybody. Whatever you're doing, whatever hobby or idea that you have, even if you don't have anything physically, like for your podcast, if you don't have the camera and you don't have any guests yet, and you don't even have any subjects as to what you want to talk about and things like that, it's okay. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you can attest to that. Like, it all it takes is an idea. You know what I'm saying? If there's a certain goal that you want to have in a year, 2, 3 years, you know what I mean? Hold yourself to that goal. And if every day that you're living is not fostering that goal or that place that you want to be, throw it out. And that means people too. If you have people in your life, friends in your life, relationships that don't believe in what you got going on, I'm not saying that sounds very harsh, but throw them out. You know what I mean? Because you only got one life to live in this on this dimension. You know what I mean? So you might as well live it to the best of your ability. At the end of the day, no matter what people believe in and what people think may happen after death, we only have to go on what we think we know. You know what I'm saying? And from our all of our understanding is that we only have one life on this dimension as you are in this body. You know what I'm saying? So you might live it to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying? Live it the best way that you know how. Um, um, and that's really all I got to say. For sure.
Yeah, I thank
And I
you.
appreciate you having me.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. And I will make sure that I promote your Instagram. Anybody who
Yeah.
don't have it, I'm gonna make sure I show you love, you know, because it was love that brought you here in the first place. So
Yeah, it's real Afro energy.
yeah,
Real Afro energy.
but you
I appreciate you having me, no doubt. And anytime you want me on this, let me know. I'll be there.
oh, I will most definitely. But,
Yeah, sure.
but you have yourself a wonderful night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.